Welcome back to Wook Plus. I'm Weekend Wook, joined by Kev the Great Went once again. Kev, we are nearing the end. We just got this and one more show, and then we're at Mondegreen. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm probably so I was gonna say we've come so far. We got one more. Monday I'll sleep all day. Tuesday I'll pack, and Wednesday I guess
We'll
schlep my
hit the
way up to
road.
Delaware.
Can't wait. So that's, and I bring that up, A, because I'm excited as shit for Mondegreen, but also B, that's kind of how I personally saw what tonight was. I thought it was an extremely solid show. I think there were some really high highlights. I personally, overall, big picture, think it might have been a little bit of a step back from last night. But the reason I bring up Mondegreen is they are on a very high trajectory, playing at a very high level right now, and the momentum is there, and it's a continuation. Really, I think things have been sounding awesome. So I can't wait.
I was gonna say for me it felt like an uneven affair.
Yeah. Well, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but I think the best way to figure that out is to go song by song through the set list. Shall we? Back on the train. What do you think about this for the opener?
It's a great opener. It's a mid-tempo rocker, gets everybody grooving, tapping your feet. Don't have to think too much about it. Song about a train. They're always great. We love trains in America, even though we don't have many.
Train song about with a train beat. Trains,
Right.
love it. I mean, it's a gets everybody in the mood. I feel like it gets everybody moving. It's fine.
They're still under the influence of Billy's strings, I guess.
Now, where's all the people triggering you saying that? Oh, Kev, they play bluegrass before Billy. Anyway, I mean, listen. This was what I mean. It was like a mid. I think it's a mid opening. Right? It's fine. It's good. It's not the best, but I think it was a serviceable way to get things going. Kind of like the
Saturday
same.
night.
Yeah, kind of the same thing with Sample. Like I think at this point, Sample starts and you're like, okay, it's gonna be that kind. That's gonna be that kind of night, which is fine.
It's
Like
greatest
Saturday
hits.
night in New
Saturday
York,
night
it's
greatest
good.
hits. You get all your
Yeah.
you get casual people. Nothing against being a casual fan coming in. They've heard Back on the Train. They've heard Sample before they know it. They don't have to invest too much in it. You can groove a little bit. Hey, I'm gonna go grab a beer.
Yeah. Oh, it's good.
Hey,
There was a
stranger.
little bit more there.
Right. Hey, stranger. What happened? They neutered it. What
Yeah.
happened?
I don't know. They were off on it a little bit, and this song I wasn't super high on when it first came out. It's starting to show a lot of potential. I love the album version of it. I was getting excited about it. This was not the greatest version of it, but it was the only Evolve song on the night, so
Right. But the other two this tour were great. The first one was fantastic. The
Yeah.
last one was in a 2 spot, and I was saying this could be the new MoMA, and Trey was like, nah.
It's like, nope. Yeah, I mean, Trady HD was kind of prevalent a little bit here tonight, but I do think
Right.
the back half of this set worked really, really well for me. I don't, not just, we're not going to skip, but as
Right.
there's been a lot of bitching in the beginning. I do think the back half worked better for me, but
Right.
Dinner Movie was cool to get. I thought
I
this
love
was
Dinner
actually
Movie.
sounded pretty clean. I know they sound checked it, I think last night or a couple shows ago.
Last night,
And
I
I
think,
think,
yeah.
yeah, last night, and I think that worked out in the for their benefit. It sounded really well. They executed it pretty well, so that was
I
cool.
loved Dinner in a Movie. I had a feeling it was going to show up, and I was just hoping it was going to be in a few days. But here
Yeah,
we are. The last time
here
I
we
saw
are.
one was in a bar, put it that way. So I'm on a dry spell, and I know a lot of people have never caught it. So that would be a great bone to throw the crowd at Mondegreen, something, nobody's ever seen. And
Yeah,
not like Halley's Comet that they do all the time and they do nothing with it.
yeah. This is a song that has been in a slump, and it continues to be in a slump. I think 21
Uneven.
we were saying. What was that?
Uneven.
Has there been a really good one since Hershey? Because that was the last really good one I could think of.
New
Maybe.
Year's, maybe New Year's. There
Yeah,
was
maybe
one, a
AC
couple.
22, but
Yeah. I mean, there's been a
I don't know.
couple, but there hasn't been a bust out huge one. I think that one in Hershey's the longest one at 4.0. But there was no jam at all. I think it was what you were saying about Trey, and he was like, all right, let's try Sand. Let's see if we can click on that one tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of the Trady HD. Sand on though, and honestly, Dinner and a Movie and Haley's from just strictly a set list normally would be high for me too, but execution wise and what we got, the Sand on is where I really enjoyed this set. A personal note on a personal side, Gumbo and Way are inexplicably very, very high on my personal list, like probably 2 and 3 in my top 5. And I understand that they're not the second and third best songs of PHiSH, not even close. But for me personally, I hold them very high. Like I love these songs so much. To get both of them in the same set was awesome. Sand Jam, I think was decent, for a first set. I felt like it was kind of a throwaway though. Like if you're gonna play Sand, I feel like you could do a lot more with it. But
yeah, I
right.
For tonight, I think for the frame of mind of Trey as setlist rating guy tonight, Sand was the perfect little micro jam that he needed in the middle of the set. And then he's like, all right, let's move on to some more of the hits. Let's run through a bunch of songs and just have fun with them. If you call it a standard version, the versions they're doing are above anything they've ever done before. So, just calling it a standard Gumbo, it isn't Star Lake. It isn't anything like that, but always
right.
solid.
But it's standard for 2024 and how they're playing this tour. There's only probably 2 or 3 other tours since 09, like 3 and 4.0, that I would say they've consistently played as well as they are playing this year, like 15 and 21, 17. Like there's a couple, but like this is a very high level of modern day PHiSH. So, and I think in that regard, like they're standard, but it's everything's at a high level,
right? And we get some Page piano. I know you said that you love yourself some Gumbo, and I always say I want a bigger bowl of Gumbo, but it felt like they were going to do it tonight, and then it was only like 30 seconds extra,
Yeah, this wasn't the sample of Gumbo, but it was just like a cup of Gumbo,
right. Cup
but
with no rice.
Right, exactly. But it was a spicy Gumbo though, right? It was a flavorful Gumbo. Page,
I love your
definitely a high
piano. I love when that and Way too. The piano and Way, it's fun. It's that janky barrel house kind of.
As a Gumbo aficionado, there's 2 flavors. There's the Page flavor and the Fishman flavor. Sometimes you get the real crazy PHiSH Gumbos, and sometimes you get the real sometimes if you're really lucky, you get the really heavy Page and PHiSH Gumbos. Tonight was all Page. I think PHiSH was okay. He played great, but like this Gumbo Maze Way was all Page, and it was really cool to listen to.
Well, yeah, Maze is basically. I mean, Page's organ solos are always just Trey got down off the vibrating platform and took a few steps back with his back towards Mike, and I was like, Page is just putting off so much. Trey had to hop down off the platform. The way he watches them and smiles, it's just
It's all of us. He's all of us in that moment. I sit there listening to those organ solos, and you watch him with his little fingers doing like, and you're like, I'm right there with him. I'm like, I get it, Trey. Page is killing it.
I get it. Then we get Mike's set killer.
Oh, no way, man. Listen, I'm famously not a huge fan of Mike's songs, and not Mike's song, but like Mike's songs and sets. But this one works, or at least for me, right? It's the problem with Mike's songs generally is that he's singing out of range and reaching for notes that he can't hit, and this is fine. Like it's quirky, right? It's weird, like some ways, but it doesn't sound strained, and really, who gives a shit? The groove in this with the guitar and that like skanky, swanky backbeat, and I mean, it's just all fun. It's all goodness. You thought it killed the set? I thought this was when the set was saved.
I was joking. I was making fun of you. My complaint with the song is it's a joke, right? The
Right.
lyric is a joke. Oh, you know, I want so I can hear my options so I can weigh them. And it takes forever to get to the joke. It's like a really bad dad joke that's like 10 minutes and has 9 parts. And you're just like, come on, dude.
I forget who said it, and I'm gonna butcher this. It's probably somebody famous, but someone was saying that the Fish's stupid lyrics are to make the complex music more digestible. And maybe it was the Mark Maron episode, but like
Mm,
they were talking about how like, and that's how I think of Ways. Like it's a really funky, fun, jazzy groove, and I don't think it's overly complicated. Actually, it's one of the more simpler ones. But like it's something that might not be. It's really awesome, but it might not be super accessible to people because it's a little bit off. And then you put like the quirky jokes to it, and it's like, oh, it's it's a stupid song, but then they end up moving to it and grooving, and they're like, "Oh shit, this actually has some soul to it." You know, uh,
mhm.
I don't know.
I just want, I tell you what, the last 26 minutes are worth the price of admission for the rest of the set. That city's got dirty and funky. And I was like, man, they're closing the set with this. They can't do another song. And they threw down Antelope, another really, okay, let's go with the cities first. Where were you with the cities?
Um, I was,
I'm hyped. I'm pumped.
yeah, I know, you're like, yeah. Uh, I was both shocked and not shocked at all, if that makes sense. Bewildered a little bit how deep into Mountain Jam and Almonds they did again. It's I don't know why, because every single show it feels like this tour they keep doing it, and I'm keep getting the same feeling like really like I get it in Michigan, like at Grand Rapids with Billy, like that made a lot of sense, and like the before that it wasn't as blatant, but the Cities Jam was another blatant Almonds Jam. That said, I really love Allman Brothers, and I think they're that like pitched that like tone on the guitar and the way they, you know, climax
Mhm.
is some of my favorite jamming. So I'm not upset that they're doing it. It's just a weird flavor to mix in this late in their career, right? Like after 40 years, they're
Right.
like just laying into it, no,
Right.
unapologetically. But I thought it was great. I mean, it was good.
I'm convinced that in Grand Rapids, the second day, Billy and Trey hung out all day and listened to the Allman Brothers and worked
Mm,
on licks. And it just, Trey's a sponge.
yeah.
It all seeps in. And I think it's, but it sounds very conscious though. Like, I feel like at Mondegreen, something's going to happen,
Yeah. You know what it
you
reminds me
know?
of? It reminds me of two examples. One was in 15 or 14 when he was getting ready for Fare Thee Well. You started hearing Jerry licks and like, certain uh noodle. I don't want to say noodling because that's the wrong word, but like, runs, certain runs that
Yeah,
like Jerry would do and
fills.
certain tone
Yeah.
things and that like infiltrated into music. And then whenever Bowie was you started to hear
15.
an influence 15 you started to hear that influence in his singing and the way he was playing.
Mhm.
So I don't know, they're not doing Halloween though. If they were doing Halloween I would say maybe they're going to do an Almonds Halloween. So yeah, it has to be Mondegreen, but yeah, I don't
Something.
think it is a coincidence. I think there's something going on.
There's got to be either that or it's a big troll.
Yeah.
Because there was a big troll in the second set when we get there, I think. Okay, so Antelope, right? They like Antelope people had written off for dead, a couple tours ago, a couple years back. And now every one of them is interesting. They're doing something they've never done in an Antelope, even if it's just 12, 16 bars of something. And I feel like they've been playing it so much that they've re-embraced it and they know it like the back of their hand, the muscle memory you like to talk about with
Yeah.
songs. I feel like that they can just play with it. It's become this huge palette for them, and I'm guaranteeing we're going to get a huge one at Mondegreen. Boggle your
Yeah.
mind one. Boggle your mind.
I I think they've been exceptional this tour. I don't know who wrote him off, Skunky, but I wasn't gonna step on Kev's point. I think mostly what he's saying is that it maybe was in a little bit of a lull where they weren't as fire, but they're starting to come back. They're having a little bit of resurgence,
And
which we've seen with a number of songs.
it was once every 8, 12 shows at 1.2, so they weren't playing it much. And back when Ghost of the Forest first came out and you were getting Drift While You're Sleeping every third show, you weren't
Yeah.
seeing the Antelopes.
So Kev wrote him off to answer your question. That's who wrote him off.
People,
we
they're
answered that
people.
question. People like that song.
People like that song.
All right, quick. We have one more show before Mondegreen. We will be back tomorrow night, 15 minutes after Encore. And if you're not a member, we do a member hang every set break. Sometimes they're shorter. You know, we have shit happening in lives. Sometimes they're longer. Today was a little bit short. I had to go take care of my daughter. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. And we hope you can come join us. I saw we got a new member today. Oh, it's funny because it was his daughter's account. That was the Olivia fan. So I don't know what his name is, but welcome to the Wook Crew. And Mondegreen, if you're there and you see us, come say hi. I don't think, well, at least Kevin, I don't want to speak for T, but we love talking to people. So
and we are going to. There will be recaps. We are not going to miss out on providing.
Yeah, they just won't be 15 minutes after Encore. There'll be some period after Encore.
Right. And then remember for Dick's, we'll be back on schedule for those 4 shows. And then this fall, when Billy and Tab tour together as a 5-piece, we'll be on that every night.
Yeah. And then
I'm making that up. Regular... Don't go tweeting that anywhere. I'm making this up. It's a joke.
Our regular programming will be back too in the fall. Live on Wednesday and the Sunday morning show and
the
Wook Club.
Club.
So subscribe. Oh yeah, and of course, thank all of you who subscribed. I can't believe it. Yeah. We are thrilled, absolutely over the moon to hit 5,000 days, almost half a week before Mondegreen, exceeding all of our expectations. You guys are the best. We really appreciate the love and support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, ride the wave. It's pretty sweet.
Best chance is now on like, comment. If you're watching later, definitely comment. We love comments.
Let's get into the second set. That's enough housekeeping bullshit. Wilson finally back to where it belongs. I loved the quirky, weird placements of Wilson's, but there's nothing better than coming out of a set break into a Wilson. I think it just feels right. And it was fun. Very fun.
Not much you can say about it. I feel like Down with Disease was the perfect length. I really feel like after the huge ones we've had, I feel like this 18 minutes, as I keep saying, they used every second of that 18 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty dense. Yeah. I enjoyed it too. And I really liked where they went into with waves and twists. So, if they came out of it and ripcord into Numberline. Oh, waves?
Yeah, because the Bethel waves, the sound check, and then they went into waves, and you're like, are they gonna do a 25-minute waves? And they were like, 5. Thanks.
Yeah, it's funny. It's because that sound check's won a jam bracket and is one of my favorite jams, but I didn't even think about that. But I did like the segue into it, and I thought it was a great choice. But yeah, you're right. That probably was a little bit of a troll.
And I tell you what, I loved it. It would twist, I guess, ripcorded out of it a little bit, but I really thought it was great. And when it ended, I was like, that's a really good length for waves.
Yeah.
I'm going to get shot for that one, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I like the transition into it probably more than the actual jam, but it's fine. Kill Devil Falls, though. Oh, yeah. Twist.
The twist was sick and janky and dark. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You were 100% right and on point, and I'm fucking this up because I was skipping twist. It was fine. I liked it, but they thought the Kill Devil Falls was really exceptional and at the beginning of it when they started playing, I thought that they cut twist too short. I thought that it didn't sound super clean to me. And this was kind of yesterday too, right? Where the composed sections had like sour notes and super minor flubs. But then the jamming yesterday in particular, but then with this Kill Devil Falls was so exceptional that you were like, who gives a shit if they mess it up a little bit, Yeah. Hey, happy birthday, Skunky.
Happy birthday, Skunky. I dubbed this one the Almond Joy Jam. Because they leaned into the almond thing again, a good 3-4 minutes, and I swear this time they were playing that song Libre in A minor, but since I don't know one key from another, I can't say that they were playing in A minor at that moment.
Yeah, no, I don't have perfect pitch, but I'm sure we could find that out.
Yeah, someone will tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. And then the rest of this set was weird to me. I thought I'm not gonna shit on Beneath the Sea of Stars because I think it sounded really beautiful, and for the kind of like Saturday show we were getting,
Mm,
um, it was fine. But you know what it is? Here, I know what it is. 4 years ago or 6 years ago or whatever, like 2019, 21 maybe. I feel like this would have been a perfectly understandable, perfectly reasonable expected show. And maybe we shouldn't get into the expectation games, but there's been so many massive jams and so much deep exploration that I was still waiting at this point for the big exploration and then to get number lined into a minuscule ghost, just an absolutely
mm,
ridiculously tiny ghost. And it was like they slipped into Reprise almost by accident. It felt like it was just like I felt like a bit of a they stumbled a
mm.
little bit out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you ripcord. Can you call it a ripcord? Um, with backwards down the number line, which I don't have a problem with the song. We've talked about it. It's best as an opener of a set, maybe because of the way it starts. It
Yeah,
starts as a ripcord. It's just
right.
that's the way the
It's a
song
designed
starts.
ripcord, right?
Right. Exactly. And then the ghost, yeah, but what I kept thinking was there's no way they can do anything but do a short little ghost here after the
Right.
last one. Now we have a clean slate. If they do it at Mondegreen, it could be a set closer for 12 minutes, or it could become an exploration vehicle again. And I thought it was a really deft touch to throw the reprise here instead of
Yeah.
closing tomorrow night's encore with it and to finish the set off. And
Well, because
I guess it was
they're bringing it back for Mondegreen, so to give that show in between is like a palate cleanser, and then probably not Thursday night, but probably Friday or Saturday we'll get a big Tweezer in Dover,
right.
I think. So yeah, no,
You
it
know,
makes
they did
perfect
not
sense.
they did not do a tweezer at Mexico this year over 4 shows. Just something to think about.
Yeah, listen, it's not a guarantee, but people that I heard saw some people saying that Bethel was off the table for Mondegreen, and you
Mm,
cannot convince me that Disease, Ghost,
right.
Tweezer are all off the table. Like, I'm not saying they're all guaranteed, but an Antelope, Maze, one of those
Uh,
songs at least is gonna be played, you
You know,
know?
I could see going as far as saying Sunday Bethel stuff is off the table.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Because it's so
There
close. It isn't like Dick's normally is where you have 2 weeks, which is the true palate cleanser, you know?
Hey, Kev. Chuck
Yeah.
says there was a tweezer in Mexico.
Oh, was there? Then
You say shit
it
so
was 2 years.
confidently.
No, then it was 2 years ago that they didn't do it. I know that one of the years in Mexico they didn't do a tweezer. Either that or I'm having one of those effect things, Mandela effect things. I'm gonna go look when we're done here. I'm not gonna screw up and go look now.
Yeah. Was it you, Carrie? Somebody was asking us on one of the shows earlier in the tour if Tweezer was overplayed, and my answer was no. You could literally play it every show, and I would be happy because the jam vehicle, the way the jams go, and I think that's held up. I think I would love a monster Tweezer at Mondegreen. Yeah, 22224 was Tweezer in Mexico. All right, talk about this
Okay.
encore.
Um, you know, have you ever heard the studio version of Waiting in the Velvet Sea? It was when the flip side of the 45 for free on the cassette single, but you can find it on YouTube and it's really cool to listen to with Steve Lillywhite and the whole Beatles thing. And I don't know. Their vocals, I think they have trouble with this because you really have to nail the vocal on it because it's all of them singing together. I guess is my only fault with it. It's a pretty song, and I know it has all the Coventry baggage for a lot of people.
I still have that in mind because I listened to it like 20 times when I was doing the Coventry video. So and more importantly, I watched it. I watched clips of Paige, with the big eyes and
Mhm.
singing, crying and shit. So I got feels a little bit tonight. I was like, just that, like, man, there's such a good place, and But yeah, outside of the emotional, superficial, like, or all that shit, I mean, musically, it's okay. It's
It's
fine.
okay. It is
Yeah.
what it is. It's a Beatles song. It's one of their Beatles songs in my head. That and
Yeah.
Bliss and Billy Breeze and all those. Runaway Jim's strange way to leave the crowd. I feel
Yeah.
like where was the Golgi or something to put an exclamation point on it?
See, that's the thing. From Ghost on, every single song they started, I was like, really? Like, not like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, but just like kind of like, oh, really? Like that's kind of okay. Like we have 10 minutes left in the set. You're gonna break Ghost now, and we just did a 5-minute waiting in the Velvet Sea, and we're gonna close with Jim. Like,
Mhm.
okay, I don't know. It had that weird feel to the end of the show, but we have a whole nother show tomorrow night. They've been
So,
sounding great, so who knows?
do we get a Sunday show tomorrow, or do we get a show that is on a Sunday?
I think tomorrow's gonna slay, gonna kill. What do they say? It's gonna be awesome. I don't know. It has the Riz. I'm not gonna pretend to
It's
be a
going to be a
child, but
Riz.
the Riz. I
It's
think it's
going to
gonna
be
be great.
Riz Sunday, everyone.
You know what it is? It's going to be fun, and they're going to be inventive, and they're going to continue. I feel like they're in a really good space mentally, right? Like they flub a little
Yeah.
bit. Everything's not perfect, but they're young and fresh. You know what I mean? Like it feels young and fresh.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like a nostalgia thing. That's what I think we're going to get is,
And at this moment, they have nothing to prove with this tour.
no.
They're playing with house money tomorrow night.
Yeah.
All
No,
right,
it's
we'll
going to
see
be great.
everybody tomorrow.
I didn't have the music up. I wasn't prepared. Thanks, people. Thank you, everyone. See you guys.